Find product links below and hundreds more videos on my channel.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So this will be a slightly long video. I've actually been thinking, that you guys might like to see some stuff which isn't really sort of like a fully, made up and prepared tutorial, but rather more of just seeing how I work, getting tips and things like that. And so it'll take longer, and some of these will be long videos, but it'll teach you a lot, hopefully. And alright, so I'm editing a photo and I'm using something called the Brenizer Method, and this is something, it's called other things as well, a Bokehrama and things like that. So for example, I'm working on some photos that I shot with my cousin. Now this is just a regular shot. I think this was a 50mm f1.2 Nikon on a 5D. And then again here, I think this is the Helios 85 f1.5. And then this here is, I believe, the Samyang 85, but I'm not sure. And so this here is a Bokehrama, or a Brenizer Method image, and it's basically a panorama that you use to get more bokeh, or shallower depth of field per how wide you are. So it's not really a shallower depth of field technically. The depth of field is still shallower, but because you're focused closer, you get shallow depth of field for your field of view. And so so here is an image shot with round about, I think, 30 images or something, and I think this was an 85mm lens. And so so you get the idea. There's a few more pictures if you haven't seen my part 1 of this video, which I filmed that a while back, and I haven't posted it yet, so I'll post the two videos together. So I showed you some images that I'd shot with the same method recently. So this is one of them. Another one is this, which actually I was working on in that other video. And let's see what else. Here's one of my older ones, and this was 135mm at f2.8. Sorry, f2.5 on the NEX 5N, if I remember correctly. And this one was the Samyang 85. And let's see, here's another one from the Samyang 85, one of my favorites. So, working on an image, and I wanted to show you sort of another method that I've been using recently to do this, because unfortunately on a Mac I've not been able to, to get this done automatically. I know some people can do it automatically. I think at least I've heard of some people who've done it automatically, but I haven't found any software that will just do it. Photoshop and Photoshop Elements I've tried. Actually, Elements was a little better, but still won't really do it. And I find it more annoying trying to get those programs to work than to just do it manually. So for a lot of things you could do it manually, and again it's sort of, well, it's down to preference. And I think on a PC you've got more options for software that will actually combine photos. So yeah. Anyways, so this is my cousin, same girl from these two photos, and that one as well. And where are we? Over here. And so I'm putting these images together. As you can see, I've already done a few, and the ones that I've done I can actually take you through it. Is this one. This is actually two images that I've already combined, but yeah, you get the idea. And so that's two images, and then I've just I've been adding them and just deleting some of the image, and I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty simple. It's undoable, so sort of a reversible would be the right word. And yeah, so okay, let me show you how I do this. And so in the first video that I will post, I showed you how I do it using the clone stamp tool, and I still use that now, but I use it a lot less. So I'm actually going to get the what am I doing here? Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to get the brush tool. There we go. Okay, so I'm working on this one, for example. And by the way, to put these in place is as simple as just dragging the photo into Photoshop, and I'll show you that in a minute. And basically you just position it where you want it, and then yeah, and if you need help positioning, you can bring the oh, that's the wrong one. Anyways, you can bring the opacity, so like how clear it is, down to around 50% so that you can sort of find its position. And these images here are not actually positioned properly. They are, I mean, this is something I actually do in a lot of my Brenizer Method images, is a lot of it is fake. So by fake I mean this tree wasn't actually here, it was somewhere else, but I just put it there because I thought it looked good, or because I thought it matched, or whatever. So yeah, okay, so now I'm going to work on this image. So I'm command clicking, that will be a control click in Windows to select it. So it's a nice easy way to select in Photoshop. Then I'm pressing B for my brush tool, and I'm going to here and I'm adding a mask. Now mask is something that you can basically, it's something that you draw, and as you draw, white tells the computer that this area should be visible, and then black tells it that this area should be invisible. And so using the brush tool you can make stuff disappear. And then if you've done something by accident, then you press X, and if you see here, when I press X I switch colors. So I press X and then just paint that back in. And so until you actually merge all these layers, you can always go back and bring a bit of something back. So there we go. And okay, so I'm not going to worry about the tiny details yet, because the little tiny little mistakes I fix with the clone stamp tool. But basically here I'm just trying to blend stuff, so I'm going to press V to get my move tool so that I can select items. And I find that a lot easier than trying to find out which item I want to select over here. I just press V and then command click to select the different. So right now I'm working on this, and then right now I'm working on that. Okay, so then I'm going to go back to B for the brush tool, and again going to add a mask down here. There is a shortcut for that, I'm sure. I don't know it though. And my computer's a little slow today for some reason. And yeah, that's basically it. This one's looking pretty good. Okay, and so that's basically it. So I continue with this, and just let's select this, brush tool, add a layer, mask, and sometimes you'll find that it doesn't work perfectly, so you use a smaller brush. Now to change size here, that is done with your you press it's some sort of, I think it is control and option, and I have no idea what that would be on a PC. And okay, so I'm gonna switch back to white, paint that in here, and it doesn't look great here, but I'm just gonna fix that using the clone stamp tool. And then I'm gonna go back to my images, find the next image, and so I'm just gonna see, let's see, I want something here in the sky. So I believe I may have used this image already, but who cares? Yeah, no, that is the same one, so let's pick a different one, since don't want to have it repetitive, at least not to the degree where it's noticeable. By the way, when you do this, a lot of the time you'll find that your image goes off to the side, so like off the edge of the image that you're currently working on. So when you do that, I'm just going to give you an example. Press enter to allow this to actually enter the composition of images. Remember to save once in a while. So that once that's gone off, obviously it's above the edge of the image, so I can't edit that. I can drag it away from the edge, but oops. drag it away from the edge, but still I can't do anything over there. So I'm going to go to Image and Reveal All. And Reveal All just brings everything into view. It just enlarges the canvas I'm working on, this white area, so that I can, or basically the overall image size. So I didn't actually need that, just wanted to show you that. And then I'm going to position this somewhere suitable. So for me, that should be fine. Now you can see this here doesn't really fit, but whatever, I'm not too worried about that. So I want it around there, and then yeah, same thing again. Oops, I suck at shortcuts, I always press the wrong ones. So I'm gonna go to Brush, and by the way, when you do this shortcut for that's the wrong color. When you do this shortcut for enlarging and making this smaller, if you drag left and right, that enlarges and makes it smaller, and then you can drag up and down to change the hardness of the brush. And yes, I know how dirty that sounded. Alright, so that's pretty much alright. Colors a little different, but that's okay. We had some flaring and stuff going on since the sun was over here somewhere. So that's basically it. I'm going to continue. I'm not actually going to do this side because my idea for this image is actually to have it cropped like something like this. Hold on. Something like that. I'm not completely sure. I'm actually just adding a few, just enlarging the area that I can work in, so that I know that, so that I can see what my options are for cropping. And but basically my idea is somewhere along these lines. 1 second, this is gonna take a while. Okay, so that's sort of my idea for this image. Obviously that's very imperfect. I'm gonna have to make that straight. And so one more thing to show you, actually a couple more things that I could show you are going to zoom into here, and then I'm going to find these issues. Now I did show this already in my last video regarding this, but I'm going to take the clone stamp tool and I'm going to flatten my image. So flatten image or merge visible will do something very similar. So if you have some layers that you don't want to flatten, you can sort of you can hide those layers and then only merge the visible ones. I hope that made sense. And so here I'm just going to, by the way, you don't have to do this, but it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to flatten it before going to the thingy tool, but it does help a lot. Makes it a lot quicker. And so basically just finding out where the areas that need fixing. And so for example, I don't particularly like this flare right here, and so I'm just going to paint it away. I actually need to pick something from further out, and it's something that takes lots of time and patience. But yeah, you know, I've seen this done specifically, you know, with Brenizer Method, and I've seen it look pretty bad, you know. So yeah, so you want to really pay attention to what you're doing with the clone stamp tool. If it doesn't look right, you know, you can sort of go backwards and forwards a bit with your undos, and just make sure that what you're doing looks right, because if it doesn't look right, you know, obviously it's something that takes practice, but if it doesn't look right, it's just going to ruin the image a bit. And if you have like a big blotch of something that isn't the right brightness or the right texture or whatever, then, you know, it's gonna be noticeable, and I've seen that happen. So I'm gonna, and remember that with something like this, you can always sort of go to a lot of different areas. You can even grab something from like something over here, and yeah, again, something that takes practice. And there are other tools in Photoshop you can use for something like this, but this is the most sort of basic, and I find that it works for a lot of a lot of different scenarios. Like it's my go-to one. There are other things. So here I've oops, that's not right. And now one thing you might notice, you might not, but regarding brush settings, is that I have my brush set to here, if I can find it. So in your brush presets, I've got transfer, and right now I'm using a pen tablet, so for some of you this won't apply, but with the pen tablet I have the control set to pen pressure in the opacity. So that means that when I want to, let me show you. By the way, with the pen tablet I drag it around by, I have the little mouse button on the tablet set to drag it around, so that makes it very easy for working in Photoshop and in Final Cut. It allows me to scroll in all directions in these programs, so I find that very helpful. Now regarding the brush, if I want to, let's say, select, I want to paint that over here, and I know that's exactly the color I want, and I want it to be 100% opacity. So again, opacity is how clear it is, how much it's putting through, then I can do that. But if I only want a little bit, let's say I want to bring this over here, but I know it's a different color, it's not really going to match. So I can do it very lightly, and I just don't put much pressure on it, and it only adds a little bit. So yeah, let me show you this over here. Makes a little more sense over here. So if I press hard, I get that. If I don't, I just get very mild, sort of, and compared to that, that's pressing hard. So again, I'll show you a better example. Hopefully, oops, wrong tool. Okay. Again, wrong tool. Okay. Green, pressing hard or not. Okay, so let's undo all that. Now I do actually do this a lot when I'm working on these Brenizer Method images. A lot of the time you'll have a massive missing piece, and I'll just grab a piece of the sky here. By the way, it is option click to select the thing you want to copy, and I'll just copy that over. And so take some of this, bring it over here, and yeah, takes time, but basically you get the picture. It's pretty simple to do. Now another thing that I would do in a Brenizer image like this is you would normally have, you know, these curvature issues, and I found that for me the best tool for actually sorting out sort of a curved image like that is sort of a distorted image, and that's just not sure exactly why that happens, just the fact that when you turn the tripod, I guess, because this was shot on a tripod. So filter and liquefy, and then this is a tool that allows you to move stuff around. So I use this tool a lot. I find it really helpful, and it's something you have to use very mildly, so you just have to sort of, it's a tool you have to be gentle with, if that makes sense. So you sort of just do very mild pushes and pulls to get what you like, and this can go a lot more complicated than this, but this is just a very simple, I'm just using basically the default settings that are in this tool. I may have played about with it a little bit, but basically apart from the brush size, basically the default, and yeah, that's it. And then I can just, it's fairly easy to straighten this stuff out, and yeah, this method, that works quite well for me. And okay, so hopefully that was a helpful tip. That does take a short while to render, and now that my computer's running slow for some reason, my take a minute or two. Post a tutorial regarding shooting these, and yeah, and I'll post the final image of this photo below this video. And let me know what you think about these sort of long videos. I mean, this was a 20-minute tutorial that obviously, you know, it's a long thing, so let me know what you think. I'd like to sort of find out, you know, whether you like this or not. I'm sort of thinking of different sort of formats I can produce reviews and tutorials in, and so yeah, let me know what you think about this sort of length and this sort of tutorial. And I'm hoping to do some live stuff too, some live sort of chats and stuff, and like questions and answers with you guys, with the viewers. So alright, thanks for watching. Hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.